Touchdown sound.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Darkgirlscantoo. My name is Ariana if you are new, and if you are returning, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. As you can tell, we have our little Valentine's Day set up, okay? I have my little roses or whatever, and we got some wine that I'm about to crack open. I just really wanted it to feel like we're really having some girl chat today. So, you know, I have my little setup in my kitchen, and we're just going to really get into some things, okay? Also featuring my beautiful edible arrangements that my mom sent me for Valentine's Day. I love her, she's so sweet. Now, before we go ahead and get into all of what I think about relationships, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, you subscribe, and you leave me a comment letting me know what you thought about today's topic. All right, so today is actually going to be a special conversation. I know I always say that, but today is really special, okay? Because if you've been following my videos, you know that I do not talk about relationships at all. I feel like that's all everybody talks about these days. And I just feel like there's so many other conversations that we could be having, so many other important conversations to be had. And so I would like to add to that, not the whole should you go 50-50 and all that crazy mess. But in the spirit of Valentine's Day, that is what we are going to be talking about. And I'm going to be giving you guys some of my thoughts about just relationships these days and the rules that I feel like you should abide by no matter who you're dating. Now, I am not a guru by any means. I'm really not. I don't claim to be, but I do, you know, I feel like I have some valuable things that I could add to the conversation just because I know I'm young, you know, I know I'm still a spring chicken. You know, I'm 26, but I feel like I've had a lot of relationship experience thus far in my life. I can't really think of too many times where I've actually just been single or like not talked to anybody on a serious note besides like maybe for a couple of years in college, honestly. So I feel like I've learned a lot very young and I have a lot of valuable advice to give. So this one is gonna be for my girls. I guess anybody could really follow these rules, but specifically for my girls, okay? Because it's hard out here and these guys be playing games and it's just a lot going on. So I'm going to kind of break down, you know, what I feel like will help you as you kind of navigate through this crazy time. Because let's be honest, I mean, these days dating sucks, it absolutely sucks. But I do feel like, you know, if you try your best to stick to these, try your best. And I know it's difficult. Trust me, I know it's difficult. I'm not perfect. I, you know, have made so many mistakes in love and I'm young. So of course that's going to happen, you know, and I'm going to continue to make mistakes. It's important to realize that none of us are perfect, but it's always best to try and, you know, at least know what the right thing is and try to stay as close to that as possible. Because when you're in love and you're in la la land and you're just, you know, you're just obsessed with your person, you sometimes can kind of forget some things that you normally would stand by and make sure that you follow, you know? And so we're gonna be talking about some of those things today. I'm so excited to share. Sorry, I'm rambling, but yeah. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, honey. I swear, I will never buy another top like this. Oh my God, it is so difficult to like keep intact. Anyways, starting off with standards, okay? So I feel like, first of all, there's no like universal, you know, list of standards that every woman should have. I feel like everybody is in different situations in their life. Everybody wants something different. And so you should kind of base your standards off of, you know, what you feel like you want out of a relationship. So like for me, over the time that I have been dating and, you know, meeting people and just having different experiences, I feel like, let's just talk about financials for, you know, example. I feel like I would like somebody that can meet me where I am or be better. Preferably better, of course. But, you know, I'm just of the belief that like, if I am not, you know, just mega rich and just got money to blow, I don't really require that of my partner necessarily as of right now. As of right now, as I get older and my wants and needs change, maybe that will change. I also don't think that there's anything wrong with a woman who feels like, nah, I ain't got it, but I want my man to have it. Like I said, I think it just depends on you and what you want. And when I see these conversations, you know, across the internet, there's this constant debate of, should you have as much as your man? Or are you a gold digger if you want your man to have more than you? And I just feel like, once again, your standards are based off of what you want. And just because I don't necessarily require my man to be a millionaire when I'm not, that doesn't mean that those are your standards, if that makes sense. I do think that there is one universal, you know, standard that I feel like everybody should have, which is no lying or cheating. Like, do not put up with that. I feel like any and everybody should have that specific standard, just because even if you're in, you know, a poly relationship where you're dating multiple people and you guys have an agreement, I still feel like there should be open communication as far as, like, you know, just you being honest and letting your partner know exactly what is going on. Even though there's other people involved, there still should be no lies or doing or stepping outside of what you guys agreed to, if that makes sense. And I also think that having standards just kind of eases the dating process in a way. I feel like it makes the vetting process just so much smoother and simpler, because you already have listed out exactly what you want. And so, you know, there's no question in your mind. I mean, maybe about some things that you haven't thought about, but like, for the most part, you already know what you're looking for when you're going on dates with people. And so, you know, once they say something that doesn't align with what you want, you can go ahead and decide from there whether you want to continue the relationship or not, right? And then I also kind of wanted to tackle, like, the question of, is there such thing as too high of standards, which I guess I already kind of talked about. Like, I don't know. That's a complicated question, just because I do feel like there are some people who are a little unrealistic about some of the things that they want out of, you know, their person. I mean, I don't know. It just depends. Like, if I don't think that I'm wrong that, you know, let's just say, you know, I have a job where I'm making like $30,000-$40,000 a year, not very much, but I want my man to make six figures. I want him to be a business owner. I want him to, you know, do this and do that. Like, I feel like your standards are your own, and who's to tell you that your standards are too high? I mean, it's subjective. I kind of feel like some people might think that your standards are crazy and that you're never gonna find anybody, but some people might be like, girl, I'm right there with you, you know? So once again, standards just depend on who you are and what you want, and yeah. Those are just my thoughts. I don't judge people based off what they want, because everybody has different goals for their life. Everybody has a different vision, and just because I think it's unrealistic, I mean, who am I, you know? And then I also wanted to talk about, like, should you relax your standards? This is a hard one, just because to a certain extent, I do feel like, I don't want to say you should, but you could. Just because, you know, nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to meet every single thing on your list. And so because of that, I just feel like, you know, it's okay to cut people slack in some areas, as long as you cutting the slack doesn't, I guess, affect you negatively, if that makes sense. Like, don't let a guy lie to you or anything like that, because that is going to affect you and your trust for your partner. But let me give an example of something that I feel like you could kind of compromise on. I can't think of anything really good off the top of my head, but the only thing that's coming to me is, like, let's just say you're dating somebody, and you know, you don't want to, you never wanted to date anybody with kids, right? You're the guy that you're dating, you really, really, really like, and he checks off all of your boxes, but maybe he has a kid, and maybe the kid is like 15 or like 10 or something. I feel like, you know, if I met somebody I really liked and maybe I didn't necessarily want kids, but he has a kid, I do feel like, and he's good to me, I love him, he treats me great, and you know, I trust him and just all the things, I do feel like maybe I could kind of compromise, but that is a really big compromise. I need to think of a better example. Give me a second, the wine is kicking in. No, better example. Let's just say maybe you have a specific love language, right? Maybe your love language is words of affirmations, right? But he's not really good with his words, but he wants to learn maybe for you. I do feel like that's something that you can kind of compromise on, like a love language. Like, you can I don't want to say teach somebody how to love you the way that you want to be loved, but you can give them examples and you can kind of break it down to them and communicate exactly what, you know, what makes you happy. And I do think that if they love you and respect you and want to see you happy, then they will learn how to kind of do the things that you want them to do as far as like your love language is concerned. So I don't know, just something like that. You get the point. You get the point. Moving on, let's talk about the courting phase. So I am of the belief that, you know, men should court women. At the beginning of our, you know, relationship, you should be taking me out on dates, treating me nice. You should be paying for these dates. Now, I'm not one of those women who believe like, oh, you can't take me to Cheesecake Factory or you can't take me on a reasonably priced date. I'm not there yet. Like, I don't have like, I mean, as long as you're not taking me to like McDonald's or some crazy stuff, like I'm not very specific on where you should take me. I mean, I would preferably like it to be nice, but I'm just not a stickler about that kind of thing because I feel like as long as I can see the intention of you trying to get to know me and you're a good person and, you know, all of the things, I could really care less what we do. We could go for a walk in the park because at the end of the day, I feel like people have just gotten so far away from what the actual goal is. And they're so, you know, caught up in where he's taking you and what you guys are actually doing. No, you need to be getting to know this person because this person could potentially be your life partner. And as we know, you know, that is one of the biggest decisions that you could ever make in your life is choosing a partner. And so you need to be spending this time worried about who is this person? Am I wasting my time? Like, does he check off my boxes? Not, oh my God, girl, he took me to the Cheesecake Factory. Girl, it's really not that serious. So that's why I don't engage in the relationship talk because I just feel like it's silly. It's silly. It's silly. It's silly. I mean, I don't know. I try to empathize with both sides. Like on one end, I guess I can kind of understand, like, let's just say I'm a lawyer. I'm making over $100,000, you know, a year. And, you know, I'm going on a date with somebody and they take me to the Cheesecake Factory. I mean, I'm not too good for the Cheesecake Factory, but I guess I can kind of understand if you're used to Ruth Chris and all these other, you know, fancy places, steak gruyere, whatever. I guess I could kind of understand why you might be like, well, why did he take me to the Cheesecake Factory? But I feel like that's something y'all can talk about. Like, I don't feel like that's something like, oh, I can't date him because he took me to Cheesecake Factory. That is so weird to me. Anyways, let me get off that because I can go back and forth. Like I said, I understand one end, but then on the other end, I'm like, why does that matter? So I'm conflicted. All that to say though, I do feel like men should court women while we're at the beginning of our, you know, dating experience, whatever. And then I think this is the time where you should be paying the most attention to whoever it is that you're dating. Because of course you're getting to know this person. You're trying to kind of figure out who they are, what kind of background they come from, you know, what their standards are, you know, what kind of values do they have? What are they looking for in life, right? But some of the first things that I look for when I'm dating, right? I look for, okay, is he a gentleman? Is he, I want to say sending a car to get me. I'm not dating guys on that level right now, but like I guess he could probably send an Uber or something maybe, but like, is he, you know, opening doors for me? Is he pulling out my seat? Is he an overall gentleman? Does he, you know, and I'm not just talking about the first date. I'm talking about like the first maybe few months of you guys dating. Like, what kind of person is he? Is he a leader? Does he like initiate things? Is he initiating our dates, or am I having to hit him up asking him what he's doing? What kind of dates is he taking me on? Is he listening to what I'm saying? If, you know, I'm more of an adventurous girl, is he planning dates around that, or are we just going to dinner every week? Like, what are we, like, is he listening and paying attention to me? What kind of conversations are we having? Are they just very surface level? You know, how was your week? Or are we really getting into some things and like really getting to know each other on a deeper level as time goes on? That kind of stuff is important to me. I hate very shallow conversations. I really want to get to the nitty gritty and figure out who the hell I am dating, okay? Are the conversations about him? Is he just gloating about what he does and how much money he makes? Or is he actually interested in me? But yes, those are my thoughts on the courting phase. Now let's get a little bit deeper into the actual vetting. And I have so many thoughts. So this might take a second, but I have so many thoughts about the actual vetting part of a relationship, just because I don't feel like I've always been the best at that. Not that I've dated a whole bunch of people, but I realized that there are a lot of things that I might have skipped that I should have paid attention to. And so this is why I feel like I have a lot of valuable things that I could say, because there's so many things that I just did not think would be important to me as an adult. But now I know, okay? And I will not be playing games with anybody's son moving forward. You know what I've learned? And it very much so frustrates me, because I have went on dates with people that, and I guess it offends me because, or it makes me upset, because when I am dating people, I show up as my full self and nothing but. Like, I'm giving you all of who Ariane is, okay? And so I don't appreciate it when I date people and they show up as their representative, or they don't let me in for whatever silly reason that they've come up with in their head. And I think the vetting can be hard when you're dealing with somebody that's not opening up and being themselves. And it's also really hard to know because you don't know this person. So I think it's very important to kind of pay attention to the things that they say. Are the stories matching up? Does it make sense? Like, because people will try to put on the best version of themselves instead of just being real, genuine, and authentic, and then show you their true colors later, which I think that is so manipulative, kind of. Like, I don't like that at all. So there are some things that I do feel like moving forward, if I ever, get back on the market, like for real, there are some things that I feel like I definitely would consider that I didn't consider before, let's just say before. And so things like, what kind of person is he? Is he, kind and compassionate? Does he have a good relationship with his mom? If he has kids, does he have a good relationship with them? Does he have a dad in his life? That is so important. And I kind of want to touch on that a little bit, because first of all, there are cons to dating a man who, number one, has mommy issues, clearly one who doesn't communicate with their kids, if there are kids in the picture, and, if a guy doesn't have his dad in his life. So let me kind of break that down. So with the mom, let's just say he has mom issues. I do feel like that can cause a man to kind of not respect women in the way that he should. Okay, I'm sorry. Y'all just gonna have to see my little line, because this shirt is giving me so many issues. Anyways, if he has kids and maybe he's not as active, or you've noticed, because most guys are going to tell you if they have kids, that they're there and they're present. But if you notice that he's never with his kids, but he always trying to make plans with you, maybe he might not be the best candidate to, have kids with. I feel like those little things you kind of have to pay attention to. Is he, stable mentally, financially? Is he known to be a chronic cheater? Are there women who think that they are dating him? Is he an open person, or is he more secretive? I could go on and on. Like, as I've dated personally, I have just made like little mental notes of some of the things that like I maybe didn't think was important before, but now I definitely do. But yeah, I feel like who have mommy issues, sometimes they don't respect women, they don't trust women, and we all have baggage, we all have trauma, but is the person willing to work through whatever it is that they're dealing with in order to be with you? I think that's so important. If he didn't have his dad in his life, that could mean that he doesn't know how to treat a woman. He may know how to open doors for you and pull out your chair, but does he know how to talk to you when he's angry and things like that? Once again, vetting, I didn't even realize was part of the process until I became older and just started educating myself about like dating and relationships. But this part is so important because, like I said, you are making a really big decision by picking who you're going to spend your life with. And so it's important that you ask the most important questions and get down to the bottom of who this person is. What kind of person are they as far as like physical fitness is concerned? Do they smoke? Do they drink? Do they have bad habits? Those are all important to me now, but growing up like in college and stuff like that, I didn't really think about that because in college everybody was getting turned, okay? So I didn't really care about that because I was drinking, I was smoking, I was doing my thing, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep this shirt together, but it is just not wanting to cooperate with me. So y'all gonna have to see my little green line, and it just is what it is. What's most important is what we're talking about. So the fifth relationship rule that I have, and I feel like this is the most important thing for me currently, let me just kind of give you guys a little backstory. So the relationship that I'm in right now, which I'm sure you guys will see more of in my vlogs, definitely subscribe if you haven't, so you can kind of see more of my life. And, you know, I talk more in detail about some of the things that, you know, I'm experiencing right now. I think that, like, number one, not even just my current relationship, but just my relationships in general, I do feel like I am the kind of person who, like, I fall in love, not quickly. I don't fall in love quickly. But once I do fall in love with you, once, you know, I start to kind of get in those, once I start to get those butterflies and things, I start to like daydream and like imagine our life together. And I think sometimes that can kind of get in the way, because then as I'm planning my life, I start to include my person. And I'm sure most girls do that because, you know, we're just, some of us, most of us are just kind of boy crazy, love crazy. We want to be in love. We crave, you know, connection and relationships. So like, and we imagine, you know, having a husband, having a home, having kids, having all the things, right? So yeah, I'll start to like kind of incorporate them into my plans, and then that'll sometimes kind of deter what I wanted before I met them. I think that it's okay for some of your goals and wants to change once you're in a relationship, but not too much. My fifth relationship rule is to not lose focus on you, okay? Because you need to center you, because at the end of the day, that's all these men are gonna do. Like men, I don't know if you've noticed, but men can be very narcissistic and like just very selfish sometimes. And at the end of the day, like, as we know, men move around however they want to. They do whatever they want to. And so we as women, we've got to keep our best interest and do the same. Like I said, I know as women, you know, we want to have, you know, our husband and we have our whole lives pictured out. A lot of men don't really feel that way. Believe it or not, a lot of men don't even think about being in relationships, especially long-term ones. Like, that's not a goal of theirs. Their goal is to move and shake and do whatever they want to do. So I know it's kind of a hard balance to have. It's okay to daydream. It's fun to daydream. It's fun to think about your future with somebody, but don't give up what you wanted for yourself. And I think that's kind of what I'm dealing with now. I'm just like, I kind of fell so hard and so in love that I forgot about me for a second. And so getting back to that is super important for me right now. Okay, so this one is also really important too. And I hope I'm not rambling on. I hope you're keeping up with me, because I feel like all of these are so important. And I feel like it's actually getting more important, like the more we go through the list. So the sixth relationship rule that I have is don't try to make a man. Sorry, I'm reading my notes. Don't try to make a man. Your job is to only be the support role. Okay, like I found myself several times, and not even just talking about my current, you know, situation, just I found myself dating guys based off of potential and what they said they were going to do or what I saw for them. Don't do that. Do not do that. You know, we're not perfect, and sometimes we do kind of fall for the okie doke. Okay, we fall for what a man says he's gonna do and all that good stuff. And I think it's okay to be with somebody with ambition and with goals, but okay, you said you're gonna do this, prove it, show me. Like, don't just date him based off of, or become his woman based off what he says he's going to do. It can become the man that he's talking about before you decide to lock in with him. Because then you end up in a situation, if you don't, then you end up in a situation where you're dating somebody and they told you that they have all these plans, and now y'all are locked in because you believe that he was gonna make it happen, and then he doesn't. Because he's already got you. Like, he doesn't have he's comfortable. He doesn't have anything to shoot for, if that makes sense. And I am a person that believes that men are sometimes motivated by women and sex and all the things. So if you don't make him comfortable, he won't become comfortable, and he will continue to do whatever it is that he's gonna do so that he can get you. And then moving on, the next relationship rule that I have is love is an imperfect thing, and don't beat yourself up if you start to bend for somebody, because like I said, we're not perfect. These men definitely aren't perfect. But don't bend so far that you start to lose you, or you become unrecognizable to yourself. That's why I said earlier, it's important for your goals and your wants out of life to stay intact, okay? And I think it's you have to have discernment and know how far you're willing to bend and know how much you're going to take from somebody. But yeah, I mean, love has its ups and downs, relationships have their ups and downs, and you know, you can kind of go with the flow. But if you start to feel like, damn, like I'm really losing myself, like this man has got me bent so far that like I don't even know what I'm doing anymore, I don't know what I want anymore, then I feel like there's time for a reevaluation of whatever your situation is. But not even just us having to bend for men. I mean, men will also have to bend for us because we're not perfect either. Like I said, I just think that it's important to just practice discernment and talk to yourself. It might be weird, but talk to yourself and figure out what's important to me. What can I bend on and what can I not? Like, here are my standards. These are the few that I'm willing to kind of tilt a little bit, you know, not bend too far, but tilt. And then these are my non-negotiables, and I'm not playing. We gotta get serious about our standards if we want to be in happy, successful relationships that are worth our while, okay? So here's my last relationship rule. For me, I don't know, call me delusional. I don't know if this is delusional, but I feel like whoever you're in a relationship with, while you're in a relationship, it should not change the love that you have for yourself. If anything changes, I feel like it should grow the love that you have for yourself. I feel like it should make you want to really just go hard for you. The person that you're with should love you so well and just so out loud that it inspires you to kind of love yourself a little bit more. Just give it an example. The guy that I'm with now, he really inspires me to be fearless and, you know, really tap into my talents and be my real and authentic self. He loves me for that, and he accepts me for that, and he even supports it, you know, financially. So I definitely believe that whoever you're with, they should make you want to love yourself even more. They should love you so much that you love yourself more than you currently do. And like I said, that could just me being, I don't know, too Disney, too fairy tale, whatever, but I just feel like that's just how it should be. But that is all that I have today. I know I rambled on and on and on, but I hope that you enjoyed this video. I definitely did. I loved talking to you guys about this topic, even though, like I say, I know how I feel. It was definitely still fun. I hope you took something away, and definitely let me know your thoughts below. Did I miss anything? Do you want to add to something that I said? Let me know below. Give the video a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, join the family. I would love to have you. I should have a vlog coming out next week. Like I said before, I have been trying to do 2 chit chats, 2 vlogs every month. It's difficult because I work a 9 to 5, but you know, just be patient with your girl and work with me. I'm gonna try my best to make it happen. So thank you for being here though. Thank you for following me on this super long, inconsistent journey. But as time goes on, we're gonna get better and better, and the videos are gonna get stronger, and we're going to just have a good time, get to know each other, create our little Darkgirlscantoo community, and you know, really do the daggone thing, okay? Period. But yes, this is so much fun. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in the next vlog, okay? Bye.